Aloha everyone, Jody Mountain here with Lineage of Light on the island of Maui and more of the Ancient Wisdom series. There is a lot of alchemy in the body and in the experience of this work of Kealahoku, the Pathway to the Stars. And the kind of alchemy I'd like to speak about today is the alchemy of perception. So I've touched on it for sure in earlier videos if you've been watching. The difference with our conventional way of receiving the world is that our perceptions seem to be limited to our conceptual mind, to our eyes and our ears and our knowledge and our past and all the things we've learned. And in this work, our perception is more based on our perceptive field. In other words, every cell of our bodies receiving this moment, arriving in this moment, every cell of our bodies awake and alive and like a being or a being that is contributing to our whole perception. So that's a basic difference, is that we are acknowledging more of who we are, more mana, more attention, more embodiment, recognizing more life in us, in the way that we are perceiving the world. And when our perception shifts, and even I'm sure we've all experienced it in our lives, where we look at a situation and we see what we see, and we draw conclusions, and then maybe a little while later we learn something about what's actually going on over there in that situation, and our whole perception of it changes. That we now that we know what, or now that someone tells us how they actually felt versus how we thought they felt, now we know that now we see it in a different way. And when you look at the first perception and then the subsequent perception, they could be polar opposites. They could be completely different. I certainly have experienced this in my life. And one of the main ways I've experienced it is in my own perception of myself, and in the ways I grew up learning how to be. And when I look back, probably even yesterday, but certainly you can see it much more clearly 20 years ago or 30 years ago, being more embedded in the learning that I had gone through my family, through my religion, through society, certain assumptions I made about what should and shouldn't be, what was good and bad and right and wrong. And the ways I have changed the way I perceive more with my perceptive field, and recognizing the differences now in my quality of attention, in how I perceive probably most things. And some of those things would have a polar opposite of what I thought was what I should be doing, and now kind of what I am doing. Back then I would have thought that this was crazy and not something interesting that someone should be doing with their life. And so I definitely have experienced the alchemy of perception, and watching and feeling my perception change on any given issue. But of course, the most powerful being how I see myself. And part of this alchemy of attention includes the alchemy of perception, includes something that we probably see in the West as an end point. So we see any kind of study, you study, and you can become a master. Or you embark on a spiritual path and you study and you meditate and you become enlightened. And we have all these trajectories in our minds about what happens, and then where we come to this place in the end. And certainly one bit of alchemy in my perception is that now I perceive that there is no end to that learning. There is no end to that arrival, because each moment that is blossoming is a brand new moment. It's brand new on the outside, or what we perceive to be the outside, and it's brand new on the inside. So how can we have arrived anywhere when where we are standing right now, it has never been seen before, has never been experienced before, cellularly, mentally, emotionally, in the oxygen that's flowing through the air from China, from Senegal, from Jamaica, from Alaska, all these molecules coming together, and I'm breathing them in. That makes for brand new information, brand new energy, brand new beings. If we consider everything to be a life force, a being, an awake. So everything is always new. So for me, in the way I've come to perceive myself and the work, it's always an exciting discovery in this moment, to the degree that I'm able to discover and able to perceive. But it's not, it can't possibly be, in my current thinking and limitation, it can't possibly be an endpoint. Because how could I know what this combination of everything was going to be in this moment? And so part of the alchemy of perception is the openness around it, the openness of the willingness to listen and the willingness to sit and to experience the unknown, to live in the unknown. And so that becomes an exciting discovery. And here we are in the COVID pandemic when this is being recorded, and we are in a heightened state, I guess, of the unknown. So we get to practice this discovery rather than projecting forward what we know and having feelings about it. We get to arrive in this moment and arrive again and arrive again and arrive again with a sense of curiosity and with a willingness to learn and a willingness to grow and to see and feel perhaps completely different things. So this is part of what makes the work endlessly exciting, endlessly electric, really. And of course, these principles also apply to the body work. And so I've been doing body work now for 30 years approximately. And in this stream, which is this is the first type of body work that I learned. And so with these principles applied to in motion and with another human, that also, I'm not tired yet, is what I want to say, of the body work. It's so exciting and so endlessly unfolding, and with a sense of discovery that there hasn't been a moment yet that I've gotten tired of it or bored with it. Oh yeah, I know how to do this. Let's just go to the next thing. Never happens. So I'll leave that with you for today. I wish you endless moments of discovery. And if you want to know more about the live retreats when they begin again, you can find that link below at lineageoflight.com. And in the meantime, if you'd like to do any deeper explorations with me, you can also check the link below. My latest offering is Living in Wonder, but there are quite a few offerings that you can take part in at lineageoflightonlineschool.com. So thank you for joining today, and I look forward to seeing you again. Aloha, everyone.